Hey, thanks for coming out today. Everybody out there, we've got Jeff Breeden with us. He's the head coach of Middle Tennessee State softball program. Been there for the last 8 years and has had a pretty good run. Middle Tennessee State's, gosh, I think you got your first Conference USA title back in 2018, and 2 of the last 3 years you guys have moved on to the NISC tournament. So congrats, you guys are doing it right out there.
Yeah, thanks. We're working at it pretty hard and have come a long way in a short time. We're kind of lucky that we've had a good run of kids, and we recruit hard. Our assistant coaches are working hard, and our administration are allowing us to do some things that we need to do.
Yep, absolutely. And so, this was a pretty strange season. We all know it ended quick and abrupt with the coronavirus. You guys were sitting at 15-13, and you guys were on a roll. I think you guys had won 8 of your last 11 games before it was canceled. So how do you guys continue to run with that into the 2021 season?
This season's been hard for everybody. I mean, nobody could imagine what happened and what we're going through and what the whole world actually is going through. But, I think that our kids, if you were to ask our kids, they're missing their friends right now. They're missing their teammates more than anything. I think when we get back in August, I think sometimes when we talk to them about, you need to play this game like it could be your last, I think this probably sends that message to them better than anything else because, just all of a sudden on a Tuesday night, we're playing a doubleheader and we win 2 games and we're feeling good about it. And then Wednesday morning, we're shut down. And, we went from being shut down for just a little while and a lot of uncertainty to boom, the next day it's over for good for the season. So, I think this just sends them a little bit of validity to kind of the stuff that we talk about, that you need to prepare hard, practice hard every day because you never know when it's going to be your last one. You want to do your best.
True. Great statement. And that's right. I mean, you can't, a lot of us, you're athletes and you're out there all the time and, you settle into this rhythm, but you could wake up every morning and it could be your last game. So you got to play, not take it for granted.
Yeah.
So, are players at your program, they're pretty motivated. They're self-starters. They're D1 athletes. Or do you have to continue to motivate them?
I mean, you do have to do that, but I mean, they all are motivated. They're all at home, I'm sure, doing what they're supposed to be doing as far as working out. And I know at some places, I mean, gyms at our place are opened up now, but, in California, they're still closed. But we've still got kids that are finding a way to work out in their garages or outside or do whatever they do. So, they're staying motivated. We're checking in on them a couple times a week and, just waiting for the day that we can all get back together again.
That's right. So let's talk about that for a second. So how do you guys stay connected during this thing? Are you guys doing Zoom calls?
Yeah, I'm old school, like I said a minute ago. You were talking about Coach Tolman is too, but we've learned now how to Zoom. So everybody is Zoom mania now. You can do whatever you want to, and of course the kids know how to do all that. But we Zoom meeting with the group twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then individually with people as we need to. So we've kept abreast with everything, and actually it's good to see everybody's faces when we get on the Zoom calls and see what's going on with everyone.
So, what kind of stuff will you guys talk about when you're on a call?
We talk about how everybody's doing, how everybody's family's doing. Has anybody been touched with the coronavirus? Has any of their family had it, or do they have it? Whatever. And then from there we go into the academic side of things and how things going along in their classes, because we went, like everybody else did, we went online and had to do everything on video. So, how is that? We talk about that. And then we as a head coaches group and athletic administration have a call every week that's also on Tuesday morning before my call with my team. So then I share with my team and my coaches what our athletic director and our administrators have shared with us. And we talk about how our university is dealing with the issues. Then we go into how Conference USA is dealing with issues, and then how the NCAA is dealing with issues. And then we just cover all those bases and let people ask questions and keep everybody informed and try to keep them, as much abreast of everything that's going on as I am.
So, if you were going to talk to some kids at home right now who are looking for some good things to work on, to upkeep their game, to stay ready, to come back to softball, whether it's in a week or whether it's in 8 weeks, what are some of the things that some young girls can be doing at home to get ready?
They can do, if they've got any kind of ball, and they don't have to have any. If I was going to say What do you need to do that you can do just by yourself? If you have a tennis ball or you have any kind of ball that bounces, you can always throw a ball up against the wall and work on field and ground balls. You can do that all you want to. You can swing a bat. You can throw rocks up, hit rocks, do whatever you want to do. I would say just fundamentally just, don't sit around and be lethargic all the time. Get out and get outside, number one, because we know that the vitamin D helps make you feel good. So get out in the sunshine, get outside a little bit. Use your social distancing, but get outside and work, do a little running, do a little jogging, do whatever. And then always get a ball and throw it up against the wall, throw it up in the air, and do all you can do.
It's so it sounds so simple, right? It's kind of a cool time as a player and a coach to really fall in love with the game in a different way again. The stress is kind of off, and you can work on some different things. And maybe a pitcher learns a new pitch, or a hitter gets a new mental approach to what she wants to do in the plate. Like what is a good mental approach in the plate? Give us a little rundown on what you teach your players.
Our players, we work 4 players back. So you got whoever's in the box, then you've got whoever's on deck, then you got whoever's in the hole, and then we have a person behind that. So we work 4 back, and we talk to our players, and this is, I think, a pinch hitting role is the hardest role in the game because you're getting up there and you need to perform in one at bat. But we say that, but in all honesty, every person on your team that's not in the bullpen, everybody that's in the dugout, they should have every at bat with every player. So, you got to be over on the side watching what's going on because timing is the whole thing. So what's the pitcher trying to do? Where's her location at? Is she a rise ball pitcher? Does she throw a lot of drops? When does she throw the changeup? Is she throwing first pitch strikes? That's kind of stuff that you're going to know before you ever get in the box. And then when you get up there and you're picking up your batting gloves, getting ready, you're 4 down the line. Then you're in the hole. Then you're on deck. And so you feed off of every person's at bat before you. You know what your pitch is. You know what your zone is that you hit best. Do you hit low and away? Do you hit up and in? Whatever. And you look for that pitch. You get in the box until you get 2 strikes. Look for the pitch that you can drive. Okay, if we got a runner on in front of you, then I need to look. If I'm a right-handed pitcher, then maybe I look for an outside pitch that I can drive the backside because I want that runner on first to end up being on third base. So you just look at all that stuff. And when you get in the box, don't try to paralyze yourself. Just get in the box. Don't worry about your swing. Just look for your pitch. And when you find your pitch, then hit it as hard as you can hit it.
Awesome. Hunting pitches. And I know, man, Middle Tennessee, you guys can really rake out there. There's a lot of players from California you have out there too, and I know some of them. And, they can bang, dude, and you guys put up some numbers. So I was thinking about it while you're talking about that. It's a good opportunity. They're showing a lot of old fast pitch softball games on TV. So players can watch these games, and what you just said can start, trying to educate themselves on what these pitchers are doing, what hitters are doing. What would you tell a pitcher to do? So, what's a good mindset for a pitcher?
The pitchers, we kind of throw to what our pitchers' strengths are. So we try to not worry about our pitching staff. They try to stay within themselves and do what they do, not try to change what they do due to the hitters. So we try to make our pitchers be in charge of the thing and throw their best pitches. So, but they need to look at hitters. As we go through the season, we'll give them scouting reports, and they'll know what hitters' best pitches are and what they do and where their spray chart is and all that. But they just need to get in the box and be themselves. And I know our pitching coach, he tells them all the time, never throw the ball across the plate. They always throw the ball in the river. So if you're a young pitcher out there and you're wanting to work on stuff right now, I would say get your home plate out there and try to not let your ball touch home plate except for just nick the black corner, because we won't always throw in the river. And if you're throwing in the river, a lot less balls are going to get hit out of the yard that are in the river versus the whole ball being on the plate.
I love it. I love it, Coach Breeden. So advice for the players out there. As a hitter, you're hunting a pitch. You're looking for the pitch, knowing what you want to try and do with the ball depending on where someone's on base. And for the pitchers out there, don't throw it down the middle. Work the black, work the corners, and know what you've got. I love it. It's a great, simple approach that kids can work on right now. Someone was asking a question about what would advice be for a catcher. Do you have anything for a catcher?
Our catchers, your catchers right now can work. You can work a lot on. They can work on their footwork if they want to at home by doing little drills, little bouncy drills around a home plate or around a little dot or whatever. They can work on their transition from receiving the ball to getting their feet set to make that throw to second base. They can work on their little quick snaps with their wrist, all that stuff. And our catchers, we put a lot on our catchers, and those girls that are catchers need to understand that they're probably, everybody thinks that the pitchers are the most important part of the game. They got the circle drawn around them out there on the field and all that good stuff. But the catchers are really the backbone of what's going on, because your catchers are actually your coach out there on the field. I mean, we're sitting in the dugout, sitting on a bucket watching the game go, but the catcher is the one that's really running that thing. So, our catchers, they need to be working, and they need to be strong and be real vocal and, want to run the show.
Awesome. Great stuff. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. I want to touch on a couple other portions of your program out there. You got a great assistant coach on board, Fody. Is that how I say his last name?
Yeah, Tony Fody. Yep.
Yeah, so Tony Fody. I mean, I think he's currently the Greek national team head coach. So you've got a guy with you with a ton of experience. Talk about how much that helps.
Oh, it helps tremendously. Tony and I work really good together. Tony does all heads up our recruiting, especially out west, because he's got a lot of contacts out there and is from out there. That part does good. Tony, he works with our pitchers, but he's a good source for me to bounce stuff off of, and a good person to get in the office with and argue about different stuff. And then, when you come out of there and open the door, everything's good to go. So Tony does a great job for us, and he's a great resource for me, and has helped me tremendously over the last few years.
That's awesome. And I guess he's doing a good job. He's got a lot of players from California coming out to Middle Tennessee. All right. So, this year you only got to play 2 home games. Talk a little bit about Blue Raider softball field. I looked online. It's a hell of a place to play. Sweet complex, fully enclosed hitting facility right down the line. I saw right before the season, you got a brand new Jumbotron and padding on the fences.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about your facility and about the town you guys are in.
Yeah, we're in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, geographic center of our state, about 30 miles east of Nashville. So it's easy to fly into Nashville and jump right down to Murfreesboro. We've had some upgrades on our stadium. We padded the walls all the way around it this past season. We got the Jumbotron. That's awesome, and our people do a great job with that. We're Easton. We swing Easton bats, the Ghost and the Advanced, and got Easton gloves and all that good stuff, and they do a great job with us there. On August the 9th, we're starting a new stadium upgrade. So
cool.
We'll have all new seating. It'll be bench back and chair backs. All of it will be royal blue, which is our colors, and then there'll be a new entrance to our stadium with some wrought iron fencing, brick facade, all that stuff. So, we spent a lot of money in the past year, and our AD's doing a good job just letting us do what we want. And we've got a vision to make this thing the best we can make it in Conference USA, and, try to make our brand national.
Awesome. Coach Breeden, man, we love having the Blue Raiders on Team Easton. Want you guys to bring home a Conference USA championship. Keep it going, man. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Stay ready, big dog. See you, man.
I'm ready.